Now let's take a look at another example. The sum of the first 16 terms of an AP is 240 and the sum of the next 4 terms is 220. Find the first term. So first let us write out the general formula for the sum of the terms of an AP. Okay, so we still make use of the second formula. All right, 2n bracket 2a plus bracket n minus 1 d bracket. Okay, so in this case now, in the first part of the sentence, we want to first of all deal with the 16th term. So the n term is 16, the first term, which is unknown, the common difference is also unknown, then the total sum of the 16th term is given as 240. Okay, so let's work with this to arrive at something. Okay, so for the s now we have it as 240. Then for the n term we have 16 over 2. All right, the first term is still unknown. Then 16 minus 1, that is 15, so we have 15d. Okay, so now if we go ahead to divide 16 by 2, we have 8. So we have 240 equals 8. Okay, let us quickly use, should we just divide both sides by 8? Okay, so we don't need to open the bracket. All right, so let's quickly do that. We divide both sides of the equation by 8. So now we have 2a plus 15d. All right, so 240 divided by 8, we get 30. So we have 30 equals 2a plus 15d. We can as well rewrite this as 2a plus 15d equals 30. So let's call this equation 1. Then for the next part, or with some of the given facts in the question, we are given that the next 4 term is equal to 220. Okay, so the sum of the 16 and the 4th term, that is the sum of the 20 terms, is equal to the addition of the 16th term plus the sum of the 4 remaining terms. Okay, and that should give us the sum total of the 20 terms. All right, so for the 16th term, remember we are given as 240, while for the next 4 terms we are given as 220, and that will give us a total of 460. Okay, so with this we can derive another equation which will help us to find the first term. Okay, so now we know that the sum of the 20 terms is 460. Okay, then the n term, we're talking of 20, is 20 term divided by 2, then 2a. Okay, we're bringing in the formula for the sum of the 20 terms of the AP. Okay, 2a plus bracket 20 minus 1, which will give us 19d. Okay, so with this, 2 divides 20, that will give us 10. Okay, 10, so 460 equals 10, then bracket 2a plus 19d. If we divide both sides of the equation by 10, all right, so now at the same time we can just rewrite it the way we want it, which will be 2a plus 19d equals by times 0 cancel 0 here, we have 46. Okay, so let this be equation 2. Alright, so now we subtract equation 1 from equation 2. So let's bring equation 1 down. 2a plus 15d equals 30. Okay, you will understand the basic knowledge, basic logic to this is because the numbers at the equation 2 are higher than the equation 1. Okay, I could as well subtract equation 2 from 1. We're still going to arrive at the same answer, but after subtraction, we'll have negative answers, which will eventually result to positive. It's still going to be the same, but this is much easier. Okay, so 19d, 2a minus 2a, that is off. 19d minus 15d, we have 4d. Okay, 46 minus 30, that will give us 16. So we go ahead to divide both sides of the equation by 4. Alright, so 4 cancel 4 out. 4 goes in here 1. 4 in 16, we have 4. So d, that is the common difference, equal to 4. So we substitute that in equation 1. Okay, let's use equation 1. We can use equation 2, but we want equation 1 because they have lesser values in there. So 2a plus 15 times d, which is now 4, equals 30. Alright, so we go ahead to simplify further. So now we have 2a plus 15 times 4, which will give us 60, equals 30. So we go ahead again to subtract 60 from both sides. So we have 30 minus 60. Okay, which will give us minus 30. Alright, so now we can divide both sides of the equation by 2. 2 cancel 2, so we have a on the right hand side. 2 in minus 30, we have minus 15. So the first term of the 20 term is minus 15. Another example, in an AP, the first term is 2 and the sum of the first and sixth term is 16.5. What is the fourth term? In this case, we cannot apply directly any of the mentioned formula in finding the sum of the terms of an AP, but indirectly we're going to apply them. Okay, so as the question goes, it says the sum of the first and the sixth term. The first term, let this T1 be the first term, plus the sixth term, both give us 16.5. Okay, then you should remember that T1, that is the first term, is A. Okay, and that T6, that is the sixth term, is equal to A plus n minus 1, the sixth term, 6 minus 1, which will give us 5d. Okay, so this is the sixth term. So what this means, we could translate it as A plus the sixth term, which is equal to this. Okay, A plus 5d equals 16, 1 over 2. Alright, so now the value of the first term, which is given in the question as 2, so quickly we substitute that for A. So now we have 5d equals, then we can as well still leave this as a mixed fraction, which we may end up just leaving our answer as mixed fraction. So now we have 2 plus 2, which will give us 4. We have 4 plus 5d equals 16 1 over 2. Alright, so if we now subtract 4 from both sides of the equation, so we have 5d equals 16 1 over 2 minus 4. Alright, we continue to simplify. 5d equals 16 whole number minus 4, which will give us 12. Alright, 12 whole number 1 over 2. Okay, so we go ahead to divide both sides of the equation by 5. So we have d equals, can now convert the mixed fraction to improper fraction. So 2 times 12, 24 plus 1, that gives us 25 over 2. So we have to divide that by 5. So which will give us, now if we convert the division sign to multiplication sign, we now have the 5 over 1 as 1 over 5. So now we can go ahead to divide. 5 goes in here 1, 5 in 25 is 5. So d, that is equal to 5 over 2. Now we convert back to mixed fraction. So 2 in 5 is 2 whole number 1 over 2. So now that we have the common difference as 2 whole number 1 over 2, remember that the fourth term is what we are looking for. Okay, so for T4 equals A plus n minus 1 bracket d. So now let us substitute the already known values. For the first value, A is already known as 2, or was given as 2. Then the nth value, we're talking of the fourth, so 4 minus 1, that is 3 times d, and d is already gotten as 5 over 2. We can quickly translate this to 5 over 2. Okay, so now we have 2 times, or rather we have 2 plus 3 times 5 will give us 15 over 2. Okay, so now we can look for the LCM of 1 and 2, which is 2. Okay, so 1 and 2, 2 times 2, that gives us 4. So we have 4 plus 2 in 2, that is 1 times 15, that gives us 15. So 4 plus 15 will give us 19 over 2. Alright, if we simplify further, we have T4 equals 19 over 2. So 2 in 19 will give us 9 whole number, remainder 1 over 2. So this is the fourth term.